Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a cute ass set, and we're going to be doing that as a fill. And of course we're going to be fixing two of my nails that I slammed and hurt and took off because they lifted a little bit. And of course it's always on my right hand because I do more, of course, with it, and I'm always like banging it and all that. Anyways, I believe this set I've had for 2-3 weeks, and so now we're just going to be taking them off, and well, not taking them off, but doing a fill, and then we're going to be making them super pretty again because it was time to do that. They were looking a little rusty, a little rough on the edges, and so today I'm going to be showing you guys how I did the fill and nail repairs on my right hand. So I am a righty, for everyone that knows, and if you don't, now you know. And so I'm using my left hand. I'm not a lefty at all, but somehow I've learned how to do, or actually not really learn, because girl, I wanted to do my nails, so I just had to do them. There's not really a way you learn. I guess you could practice, but I am using my left hand, which I'm normally not used to using. And so you guys can see, for the ones that want to do their own nails, I guess you'll have like a perspective on how like you can do them. It feels a little awkward. You do have to get some good angles. It is kind of hard to record while I'm using my left hand, because I'm like concentrating so much, plus having to use my left hand and keep it in the camera's view. And so that's a little hard, but I've gotten a little used to over time. So it does take me a little longer when I would usually do my left hand with my right hand, because I am concentrated and the angle is just a little off, so I just can't go really fast. I have to have more, I'm not sure the word, but I just have to go slower in order for me not to mess anything up. So right now we are just going to take off all the gel, any art or designs that we did put on my previous set, and then I'm going to go ahead and reshape a little bit, and also take off any I guess excess acrylic, anything that may be lifting, anything that isn't to par with my nails. So we're gonna be taking that off, and I am using a coarse drill bit. This is a safety bit. You could get it online, you could get it on Amazon, you get it at the nail supply store. I did get that one at the nail supply store, I believe. And so now that we're done with the reshaping and taking anything off of our previous set, we're going to go in and prep the nails for a fill and also for a nail repair. So nail repair is going to be very easy. If you break one, you'd want to do a soak off. If it lifts off, comes off, then you're just going to start from fresh, just how I am on my pointer and my thumb. And so on the fill part, we're going to just go ahead and prep the area that's going to need acrylic. Anything basically of the nail that has been regrown. So we're going to prep that, make sure that's not oily or anything like that, and dust it off. So these tips are the ones that I used on my previous set. I ordered them on Amazon. And they're pretty long, and so I don't have a box to actually fit them in, so I decided to keep them in their individual bags. It's kind of cool, especially because I'm only going to be using these on myself, I believe, unless if I have a client that's like wanting super extendos, then I'd use these. But for now I'm just going to be using them on myself, because my normal tips are already long. And so yeah, so I had a little bit of difficulty here. I had to get a new glue. I guess it dried up, or I don't know why. I think it finished, and I just thought there was some in there. So I had to just get a new one and just open that up really quick. But anyways, now that we placed our tips on the nails that didn't have anything on them, we are gonna go ahead and file and shape, and we're gonna go ahead and file and shape our previous nails on there as well, because with time they do get roughed up on the edges and they do get that dull shape, so you want to reshape that and make it extra crispy. And I do use you could use any acrylic pot to give more I guess structure, or so it could just be easier to file your nail, just because we don't have that extra hand to hold down our finger, so that's going to help while filing. So now we're going to go ahead and dehydrate and prime our nails. We're going to go ahead on the nails that we're doing the repair. We're going to go ahead and do that on the entire nail bed. And on the nails that we're doing a fill, we're going to go ahead and do that on the regrowth area. And we are going to be priming twice. So now we're going to go in with our Bad and Bougie from Valentino, of course. This is one of my newer ones that I got. I just recently got the number 6 from Victoria's, I think, set or something like that. Also from Valentino, and I love it. The Bad and Bougie has a more pinker cappuccino. The number 6 is going to be more of a nude cappuccino. Not as dark cappuccino, but that's just how I call it. Anyway, so now we're going to go ahead and fill in the nails that need a fill. When you're doing a fill, you also want to make sure, because you did kind of take off the apex moves outward, right? So you want to, when you're drilling and filing, you're going to want to drill that down and even it out and make it to where it needs to be in the right place. So when you're doing a fill, it's not just that little area that you're going to fill in of regrowth. You're going to also go in and match your apex, your stress area, your free edge, and all that. You're going to go ahead and match all that. You're going to do like a whole, like a reconstruct. So a fill just isn't a fill. You're reconstructing the entirety of the nail. So it can take some time. It can take some practice, especially because I'm using my left hand. It is a bit awkward, just the angles. I can never get used to them, but I do make it happen because I need to do my own nails, right? I'm always wanting to do different things on my nails, so I'm just going to have to get used to it, of course. So now we finished our middle finger and we went on to our ring finger. And I'm just looking around all different angles of my nails to make sure that there's no dips or anything like that missing, just to give it a nice structure, because when we go back to file, it's okay to have a little bit more, because you don't want to have less and then file too much off and have that problem. So better safe than sorry. So now we're finishing up the ring finger, and then we're just going to finish up the middle, and we're going to finish up the pinky. I did go out of camera view here just because the pinky is a little harder for some reason when you're working on yourself. You don't have that stability when you're putting pressure onto your finger. So it's kind of awkward, but just make it work, just do it. And I would say it makes it easier if you have your application down. That way when you go back to file, you're not having a hard time. If you put too much acrylic or it just doesn't come out too good, then you're going to be having a hard time going in and filing, and that's just extra work. So just practice on application as much as possible. So now we're going to go ahead and start on our pointer finger, and this is going to be a full application, 3 to 4 beads. I say 3 to 4 because 3 is going to give us our structure, our end, our free edge, apex, and cuticle. But the 4th one is always like especially when I'm using my left hand, there's gonna be some sort of what's it called, it's just not gonna be perfect because I'm using my left hand. So I always go in with that fourth bead just to even everything out. So just like this, we're gonna be going in with our second bead, and then now our third bead. It's so funny because I do use my right hand to pick up my beads and to clean my brush. I can't find a way how to pick up a bead with my left hand. I just don't think there's a possible way. I've tried it and I just can't. The angle, look how I'm holding the brush with my left hand. That's not even how I hold the brush with my right hand. So there's no way I could pick up a bead like that. So now we're just gonna go ahead and blend everything. And of course, you don't want to make your apex area or your stress area too thick. You don't want it too bumpy or anything like that. You see, so now I'm going in with my fourth bead because I did have a little angle issue that I could see. And so yeah, I just go in with smaller beads, very small beads that I could just blend in. They're going to be on the little more wetter side, so that way I could blend in and it's not bulking on. I'm not adding on, I'm just evening out, if that makes sense, because we never want to make it too bulky or too thick. That's just too much. And so now we're gonna finish up with the pointer finger and start on our thumb. I'm gonna grab my bead, and then we're gonna start off with our first bead. Where you place your first bead is gonna depend it's gonna depend how long your nails are. For short nails, I do 1 to 2 beads. So that kind of just, it's a different area where that starts, of course, or where it's placed. The longer the nail, of course, the more down you're gonna go. But sometimes, just depending if the bead is small or large, you would kind of decide where you're gonna place that and where it works best for you. So now we're gonna go ahead and blend that second bead to the first bead, and already we're building an apex area where the stress area begins. So that way with that cuticle bead we can add on to it. We're not really dragging too much down from the top of the bead, it's more from the end, and then we're gonna add the cuticle bead. I guess it was a bit harder for me doing my right thumb with my left hand, of course. Normally when I do my right thumb, I feel like it's a easy application with the 3 beads, but I did use like a medium-sized bead for the cuticle and apex area just to build that structure. And then now I'm just going in because I did see a few flaws on the angles, on the sides of the angles of my nails, and so I'm just fixing that really quick. So now that we have the application on all 5 fingers, we're gonna go ahead and go into filing and drilling and all that. So for this video, I didn't record that part, but we are gonna go right into our art, the most fun part. So we're doing our French tip, and we're using this electric purple, which is super pretty. I got this one at the Nails Bling store. This purple, I don't even know the name or the number. I would have to go back to look at it, but it is very beautiful. And I got this nail inspo. I have a lot of screenshots that I just kind of go through sometimes, and I just kind of pick and choose. I just had it in my head, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do that. And then I ended up adding more things to it than what it originally had, just because I felt like they were a bit too plain. Anyways, so now we're gonna start off with making our French tip, and I did mess up. I guess you call it mess up. It's more like I didn't like it, so I'm gonna redo it. But this is how I do French tips. I just find it easier to kind of map out where I'm gonna be making the French tip and then just fill it in. It's just way easier. Everybody has a different technique, which is fine. This way just works best for me. So once I like the shape of my French tip, I'm going to go ahead and fill it in. And then we're going to do that to all 5 fingers. And then we're going to go into our blooming gel. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys see how I did my French tips on all of my fingers. And I didn't cure in between each finger. If you do have a hard time where when you're doing nail art and then you mess up one of the nails with, you know, just by touching things, I do recommend to cure at least 15 to 30 seconds in between each nail. Just that way you're not going in and bumping and messing up your artwork in between and having to go back later. It's too much. So yeah, so I want to say that French tip has been a struggle for a few. I've heard different comments, and I guess you can practice and practice. A French tip is a little different depending on what size nail you're working on. When it's a bit shorter, you can do a deep French or just a regular French tip, but the curve on it is going to be a little different when they're a little shorter. It looks a little wider. You can't make it as pointy as when you do them on a long set, but they still do end up looking very beautiful. So as long as that works out for you at the end, it doesn't matter what shape or length you're doing. Just practice and you'll get it. It gets easier as time goes by. So now we're on our middle finger finally. Now that we have all our French tips done, we did cure for 60 seconds. And now we're going to go in with our blooming gel. And we're going to be doing one nail at a time. You don't want to be working on multiple nails at a time with blooming gel just because they do bloom pretty fast. I am using the Mia Secret blooming gel. You can get it online or at the nail supply store if they have it available. And so now we're just going to go ahead and grab our daughter and pick up the color that we want. And we're going to go ahead and make a little snake alligator print, I guess you can call it. And we're going to cure for a few seconds in between. I do 15 to 30 seconds just to hold the design. And then at the end, we do a full 60 seconds. So we are going to cover the entirety of the French color. That way, when we apply our color onto the blooming gel, it blooms very nicely all around the French tip. I skipped over to my thumb just because it was a little bit too repetitive for me and I didn't want you guys to get bored, of course. So we're going to finish up with our last finger, and we did make sure our blooming gel is nice and even on there. And then we're going to grab our pink and then do our cute little design. So after this, we're going to cure for a full 60 seconds. All 5 fingers, so we can put that into place. And then we're gonna go ahead and start charming it up because the set was very cute, but I needed to add some things to it. So here I am kind of deciding what I was gonna add. I was thinking of adding that cute little pink gummy bear. It's like a sugar gummy bear, but I felt like it was a little bit too bulky on my nails, so I decided to go with some purple gold diamond hearts that I got. And then we're of course do pearls because I do end up adding the pearl hearts and pearl circles. So because I was going to do a French diamond line, I'm going to be adding the diamonds and the pearls. It just matches all together just to put everything and make it come together and look really nice. So we're going to be using our Mia Secret gel resin to add our charm, and we are spraying our spray to harden that up really quick. And then we're going to go into adding a few more charms. Right now I'm thinking like, what am I going to add? Where am I going to add it? All that, just because I have so many charms that I don't really use as often. So I wanted to use something that I don't use on a daily basis or that my clients don't really ask for. So I decided to also add this cute pearl heart, and I really like the placement, so I made sure that it's on there very good. A quick tip on how to keep your charms and bigger diamonds to last long. You want to secure with gel. So you're going to go ahead and apply the gel onto the nail, but also you're going to add extra into those little crevices that are open or lifted around the charm, and that's going to help that stay. And so on the thumb, I was kind of I didn't know what to do on my thumb, honestly. So I saw my little pearl circles. We could do that, and I could add something in the middle. And then I remembered I had these cute little diamond hearts. So that really worked out super cute. And then I really liked how that came out. And so this is where I decided to add the diamonds and pearls to match the pearl heart and the pearl circle that I have. So that way it all came together at the end, you know. It looks very nice, and it wasn't just all pearls. The diamonds really did stick out. And so I finished that up, and then like I said, make sure that you gloss up very good on your big charms, even the plastic little ones, so that way they stay. If you guarantee them with that gel and you secure them very well, they're gonna last a few weeks.
Now we're starting on the pinky. I'm deciding. At the moment, I was thinking like if I add the pearls and the diamonds, just how I did on the pointer finger, it would look cute. But the only difference is that my pinky's a bit smaller, so I didn't want to have it looking too bulky. So I decided to go with the clear diamonds, and that's also different from what I did on the pointer finger. On the pointer finger, we did do AB, and on the pinky, we're doing clear. At first, I was I kind of thought about it. I was like, that is gonna look a bit different, but my little purple chrome heart that I have in the middle of my finger, it does have a clear diamonds, so just how I match the pearls and the diamonds, the pearls, I guess, just how I matched that to the pearl heart and the pearl circle. I thought it'd be cool to match to the purple chrome heart, and it actually came out very cute. I'm happy that I ended up going with the white diamonds instead of the AB. So now we're glossing up with my favorite top coat, and this is how I gloss up my big charms. I'm gonna go ahead and get all the corners and all the sides, and you want to fill in the gaps just so that when you cure, that's gonna cover any openings that anything could get stuck with. And when I am covering my charms, I do flash cure for about 10 to 15 seconds in between. That way the gel where it doesn't seep into anywhere else of the nail, because you don't want to have any lumps as well. But because the gel is in a builder gel, so it'll slide on the other side, so you want to make sure to secure that. And then now we're just going to finish up all the other fingers and make them extra glossy and extra pretty. Thank you guys for staying and watching through the video. I hope you guys liked it. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I'll see you guys next time.